Wait, did you hear that? Runner's choice for this is anything Borderlands 2. Runner's choice for this one is anything Borderlands 2. Reader's choice is Melee Finals. Welcome back. Thank you to Timix for your $500 donation. Two of my favorite things, speedrunning and money going to cancer research. Keep it up, guys. That we will for another few days. Thank you to Newtzy for your $150 donation. This is my first AGDQ and I love it so much. My grandfather died from cancer when I was really young, so I don't remember him very much. Here's my contribution, so hopefully no one has to go through what I did. The money can go to the Xenernicus's choice. Thank you to Big Panda for your $50 donation. It's been 1 year since my best friend's dad passed of pancreatic cancer, and a month since my own father's diagnosis of stage 4 colon cancer. This donation is to honor their struggles. Thank you all for your help. Thank you for your donation. So in case you are just joining us, this is Awesome Games Done Quick 2014. We are Speed Demos Archive and Speed Runs Live. We are here to raise money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It is a nonprofit dedicated to preventing cancer through education, outreach, research, all those things that you need to do to prevent cancer. Speed Demos Archive is a website where you can find speedruns on hundreds of games. You can learn how to speedrun those games. You can find the records, the best way to do that. Speed Runs Live is the best website for racing games. You can sign up, make an account, and then immediately go into any of the chat rooms, start meeting people, talking to them about strategies, routing out your own games, and then joining up with them online and playing against them and racing them. It's great fun. Anybody can do it. All you need to do is go there and make an account. So coming up, we've got Quantum Conundrum by Blood Thunder. And then after that, we've got Typing of the Dead by Peaches. And then the much anticipated Surgeon Simulator 2013 speedrun by Professor Broman and Missy. So there is one prize that is still in the running right now that you can enter for, and it is the limited edition Tychus Finlay statue. If it is a $50 buy-in, and it's really a cool, really awesome prize. So you really want to be in on this one. That one you can donate to. You can get in on until the antechamber run, which isn't until it's not for a while. There are also a few more donation incentives that we would love to have met. There's the Face McShooty side quest, which still needs a few $1,000s before that run, and there is the space program side quest, which only needs about $500. And after that, the next donation incentive is a blindfolded bonus run for Mr. Driller. And that one we're definitely closing in on. We're at $1,300 out of $2,000, so get your money in for those donations.
All right. The time's going to start after I skip the intro, so it's going to start in just a moment.
Is mine make it?
Time.
Cool.
All right. So you guys don't have any sound, but I guess we're going to just explain what the game is, because I'm assuming practically no one knows what this game is. No one ever does. So this is Quantum Conundrum. You might get a feeling of Portal from it, and that's pretty typical. One of the lead developers on Portal, Kim Swift, left Valve and joined Airtight Studios to actually make this game. So it has a bit of a feeling of Portal, but it's very different once you actually get into the mechanics of it. Story-wise, you don't really need to know the story. Really basic. You're a 10-year-old boy in a giant house trying to save your uncle. Yeah.
Basic stuff. Everyday life.
So while comparing this to Portal, we don't get a Portal gun, but we do get a glove that lets us control different dimensions, and we'll end up with 4 overall. Actually 5, because we have normal. We'll also get fluffy, heavy, slow-mo, and anti-gravity, and as we get to them, we'll kind of get into it. But for now, we're sitting through the intro. Can just mess around a bit. There's no ABHing or bunny hopping. If you see me jumping, it's just because I feel like it instead of walking. It's kind of a habit.
Stack him. Stack him. Can you stack him? Stack him, please.
I'll stack them in the next area.
Okay.
You can actually just clip the books through the door in this part, but it's kind of tricky. So one thing you'll notice is that there's a little bit of frame droppage in between certain parts, and that's because the game doesn't use loading screens. There are 3 loading screens overall in the game, but only for significant changes. Instead, it uses long hallways to kind of buffer it, so you'll notice some frame drops. That's not the stream, that's just the game. So here's our glove. A little bit big for a 10-year-old.
It's not meant for you.
Depends on the 10-year-old, really.
All right, so here we can stack the books. I'll try to make a little pathway. Put this one here.
R.
All right, so now we're entering the blue wing. There's 3 overall, blue, yellow, and red. Colors don't really represent anything, but kind of helps to break up the game. And the game does a really, really great job of introducing new things as it goes. It doesn't just throw it all at you at once, so it's going to start off a little slow and it'll pick up in the middle.
By great job, he really means that it does it by using puns, which is really the only way.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about not having audio for this game, is there's a lot of humor in the puns and the references that you just unfortunately don't get. It's like playing Portal without GLaDOS, so you can kind of imagine. So instead, you should go buy the game yourself and play it and experience it.
Doesn't the stream have audio either?
Nope.
Sweet.
All right, so this is the first dimension we're going to get. If you see these little colored batteries, they each represent a different dimension. This one's fluffy, represented by blue, and it's basically lightweight dimension. You can pick up things you couldn't normally pick up, and it's probably the most broken dimension, so getting it right off the bat is really nice.
Yeah, the game does have subtitles, but it's not the same. It's not John Delancey.
Try to go a little bit quicker, but didn't work out too well.
Oh wow, that sucks.
So I was mentioning hallways before, the buffer areas, and this is one of them. Some are shorter than others, and some are really long for no reason. But something that goes along with that is that it can really break certain maps because of the way it just naturally loads and unloads rooms. It doesn't quite do them all in the hallways. And we'll get to that in just a few rooms. So I didn't really mention them, but if you see any of these little things on the floor, they're pressure pads that you have to weigh down to advance or open a door. I need another one. And you can only weigh them down in normal dimension, so it usually leads to some pretty interesting methods. Right now we're doing pretty much intended solutions done quicker. And once we get to the next room, it's going to sort of go to the unintended side.
Yeah. We know no bounds.
Thanks to Anonymous for a $5 donation. Hello, AGDQ 2014. Awesome runs for an awesome cause. I love it. I'd like this $5 donation to go to name the Wind Waker HD file name Free Chat.
Nice jump there.
So I did a little bit of a glitch there, but you can't really tell. But once I get to the next room, that's when the main glitch of the game really starts to show. It's known as object hovering, prop flying, swishy swishing, fluffy flying, any of the above.
I hope you like safe strats. Woohoo.
That was a terrible pun.
You,
in the spirit of the game.
you wait. You just wait.
The game has worse puns than that.
Sadly, we don't get to hear them.
He's stepping up the humor with the lack of audio.
One really nice feature of object hovering is that you can actually keep the item, so I'm not supposed to have the safe at the moment. And let me skip this puzzle.
Oh, wow.
Almost. There we go. Moving forward with an object or in any direction really is much more difficult than going straight up, especially if you want to go really quickly. It's something that even after putting hundreds of hours into the game, I'm not proficient at. Sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. All right, now we get the second dimension, which is the exact opposite of fluffy in pretty much every regard. It's obviously a heavy dimension and it makes everything heavier. It's also not really broken at all.
Sadly. Nice.
So now it's going to go through a few more tutorial type puzzles with heavy dimension before it really lets us kind of experience.
Awaited the decision. You never know.
I'm surprised that exact dialogue is not in the game.
Yeah.
I might be able to highbrow the
I'm just gonna point
So-
out all the puns.
The real appeal of heavy dimension is to break objects, mainly glass, to weigh down the pressure pads with normal dimension, but if it's a small item, it can't, so you need heavy. And it's also going to block some lasers, which if you see a red laser like that, that will kill you and destroy anything that's not in heavy dimension. Blue lasers don't have to worry about.
Oh wow.
And I got the only bit of RNG in the game to go terribly wrong for me. It's like a 1 in 20 chance of happening, so this game is not liking it at the moment. You would think the safes would come out consistently every time, but nope. There's actually a random pattern to how they fall down.
And it's only a problem in this one place, really.
Yeah, a lot of the RNG we've been able to cut out through various means, but for now that is pretty much the only RNG in the game besides the very last part. So we're going to get heavy and we're going to skip our way to the exit, hopefully. There we go.
Good job.
So you throw the box up and block the lasers, which you're not supposed to do, and then you can just skip right to the exit instead of solving the puzzle. And that's kind of a common trick later on. Bluing, which we're in now, is really a good example of showing off all the tricks we'll be using and then just applying them later on to certain situations.
Fantasy.
All right, I talked about the loading and unloading a room, so just pay attention. And that's out of bounds.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So the way that works is that the room isn't completely loaded when you are in it. it loads it and unloads it as it goes, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the hallways.
Oh god,
That was weird.
what even happened?
So if you get out of the area where the game thinks you should be, it will unload the room to save from lagging. And typically in Blue Wing, they don't expect you to get up the high places because you don't have the ability to. Except with prop flying, you can get to the top, which the game then thinks you're out of the range, so it unloads it. You can get up on top of it, come back down, and it loads back in, letting you stand on it. Pretty nice feature. Unfortunately, it's not overly used quite yet.
Springing to new heights. We don't actually get to see any spring action though, so. But there's a spring in this room, I'm telling you. Good job.
Thanks to Vesper for a $500 donation.
Yeah.
So now we're going to do a pretty cool a trick here. If I can break this window. All right. So you can just fool the game into thinking that you're weighing down the pressure pads by switching in and out of dimensions, which makes no sense at all, but fortunately for us, it lets us use one safe instead of two. And later on, we can do the exact same thing, but every door that has more than one pressure pad is actually different. So you have to break them in unique ways. We're going to skip all this.
Good job.
And time for some basketball. So we have the two-pointer.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
A little bit over. There we go.
All right.
For 3.
And everyone's favorite.
The chaos done. Yeah. Yeah, indeed.
All right, so this next room is the last time we'll go out of bounds, but you really won't have a chance to see it because we're going to instantly load the room back in. And hopefully this goes well. It's a pretty difficult timing. But if I do it, it will skip pretty much the entire level, which takes a minute and a half to do normally.
Yeah, there's 3 things that can happen. It either works, or it doesn't work, and he can try it again, or he falls indefinitely out of bounds. But I believe, I hope. Fingers crossed.
All right, so I'm going to get on this chair.
All right.
So I loaded it back in there, but unfortunately I didn't get to the other side. I'm going to turn the chair a bit. The worst part about this trick is the conveyor belt, because it wants to move the chair, but that makes it extremely difficult to set it up in any way.
Oh.
Yeah, so if I had gotten it, I would reload the room very, very quickly. So I'll give it one more try, and I'll just do the room normally if not.
Oh, damn. Dang it, I mean.
Yeah, the timing for that's really, really specific.
Yeah.
I need another couch. It's been a long time since I've done this normally, but I was practicing it earlier today, just in case, so should be fine. This is actually probably one of the the rooms that people really dislike doing casually because it involves a lot of platforming on conveyor belts. So.
Yeah, it's not a fun room, that's for sure. Oh god. So the uncle in this game is voiced by John Delancey, so I'm really sad you missed that, because he's awesome. But yeah, you should play the game yourself. It's a fun game. What?
He really makes the game.
He does.
There's a reason to object hover there, and it actually just breaks this next room. There's supposed to be a laser right here, and we can just walk right through it. You'll notice that there's there's no textures there.
This room is where we would end up if we came back inbounds after the out of bounds. So it's right at the end.
That's fine, we can just get another one right there. So I need to hit that checkpoint before I can even do the next part, which is fine. I'm going to try to go for a graphical glitch here, but it's not always that easy to get. And this is the last level in the blue wing, so it will have a loading screen here. No, I'm not going to get it.
All right, good job, good job. About 1/3 of the game done.
So blue wing has a lot of intricate, lot of object hovering. Yellow wing is probably the most difficult, which is why we call it the yellow wing instead. And once again, it'll start off slow as it teaches us about the new dimension, but once we get halfway through yellow wing, it's going to be a fun time. So we're about to experience the third dimension we're going to get, which is slow-mo. You can probably tell what slow-mo is. It slows everything down.
Everything but the character or whatever. Since he's wearing the IDS glove, or, yeah.
That sounds like completely legitimate science.
Yeah, yeah. It'll get explained later. Everything makes sense in this game.
So on the way back, we're going to skip those two safes I just jumped across because, once again, they are random when they come out of the dollies. Which doesn't really make sense, but don't have to worry about it too much. All right.
Nice.
All right. So there's just a small, really small platform you can stand on next to the lasers. A few pixels to the left, and you get hit by the laser. A few pixels to the right, and you fall off. So you really have to be careful there. And the next room might be one of my least favorites in the game, not because it's bad or difficult. It's just This is a puzzle game, and there's absolutely no puzzle to
Yeah.
this room. It's all platforming.
This is an auto scroller, by the way.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way of speeding it up. But we do know of a few out of bounds that we're trying to test. Now we're going to pick up Alfred, which, for those that watch my stream, will know what that is.
One of the big sources of humor in the field is the paintings, which you would look at and change as you paint dimensions. That's cool.
Yeah, the paintings in this game are cool, since they change depending on which dimension you're in.
Yeah, there's a lot of little references and puns like every corner. Every single book you see in the game, which are all over the place, has a reference to a popular book. As you may have noticed by looking at the individual room names, those are always references. Even the soundtrack, all the tracks on those are references.
Have you flipped the switch yet?
Not yet. All right. So we can actually go back to doing the puzzles.
Yay! These transition corridors are really long sometimes.
Yeah, there's a few corridors in the Red Wing that are extremely long for no reason. So I did a little glitch there, but I didn't really have time to explain it, and it'll come up again, so when I get to that, I'll have more time. But it's one of the only real glitches with slow-mo. So we need to keep one of the safes with us. You can actually do it with one safe. It's just really inconsistent and only saves 2 seconds or so.
Do we have time for an announcement?
Yep.
We've been getting a lot of Twitter messages concerning whether to keep the Twitch chat sub only or to make it free again. Sub only.
America, make it free.
Well, I just got done with a conversation with Mike, and we're gonna make it a donation war.
Good idea. That's a good idea.
No, first it's $10,000. Search for free chat or sub chat in the donation list.
Okay, so that was a pretty big announcement, and I don't know if the stream was able to hear it. So the chat has been in sub mode for a while now, and after speaking with Mike Oyama, the event organizer, the conclusion was reached that it will be a bid war between freedom and tyranny. The bid war will be a race. The first to $10,000 will win. So get your dogma ready and your wallet primed, because this is going to be intense.
Saying if you guys subbed, you wouldn't have this problem.
As you say that, I think about 3 or 4 people have just subbed. But so get those donations in based on your opinions, and be sure to weight those donations based on how strong your opinion is. So if you have a strong opinion and are on the internet, which I'm going to guess at least a few of you are, then those donations should reflect that.
Well, let's see here.
America was based on freedom, so
Well,
Really, because $20 says sub vote has to raise.
Except it's more like a democratic hearing because everyone voted for the hearing.
$50 says sub mode.
Here, put that also.
So yeah, we'll.
$1 for free chat. Rip it up.
Don't actually do that.
Pretty sure that's illegal, so please don't rip up the money.
Alright, so I'm going to go for this little throw here. It saves maybe a second, but it's always fun to go for.
Oh.
Just rolled over. Alright, the run's really about to get
Good.
good's one word for it.
Time weighs heavily.
Time weighs heavy upon us all.
So this is one of the doors
Weighs,
that's quite different from the others. This one actually has 4 switches you need to weigh down, but we're just going to go to this one here.
way. Magic.
What's
So-
weird is you can only do that with 2 of the pressure pads. The other 2 just soft lock the game entirely.
So the race has already begun, thanks to Anonymous for a $500 donation. Let the kappas flow free.
Dang. Boo.
Muted applause.
Alright, so this is another very interesting
Yeah,
little
you
glitch
would
here.
never think of this.
Yeah, so before the laser comes out of the device, you can just block it, which makes no sense entirely, but why not abuse it? This skips having to get heavy dimension, which is through a terrible puzzle. That's probably the most interesting about the yellow wing is that it has a lot of one-time use glitches.
Yeah.
The next room has probably one of my favorite one-time use glitches. So this is an example of a very long hallway that really shouldn't be that long. All right.
Oh, this one's nice. I like this room.
Thanks to Anonymous for a $100 donation. I can't afford the $5 to sub. Bible Thump. Free chat.
All right, so I can't object hover with a small box because I just can't stand on it, so
Oh.
I'm
Sweet.
just gonna do that.
Good job.
When you're in heavy dimension with a small item, you just get pushed off of it. So by going in and out of slow-mo and heavy together, you can just continuously slide off the item and glide to the exit instead. Now we go back to object hovering.
A boost of confidence. Though you're not gonna see any boosts though, but it is a fun, trust me.
Thank you to Damian Prystay for your $20 donation. Sub chat because bad behavior has to be addressed, not ignored.
All right,
Yeah.
this room probably has my favorite glitch in the game. I
Double
don't think
swag.
I don't think we have a name for it, but it's basically preserving your momentum from items. It doesn't really make sense, but just keep watching.
Are you going for the double?
No.
Casual. Aw. Darn it. It's really tight to get. You'll see when it happens. There we go. Nice.
I've actually already abused that glitch in the past, but it just really wasn't obvious because what you do is when an item is going upwards and it has a lot of speed, you can jump off of it and just keep all that momentum, which is really helpful for things going at high velocity, and you can slow-mo jump on it and then jump off as you're coming out of slow-mo. I missed the throw.
Oh, darn.
So, quick update on the bid war, the race rather, between free chat and sub chat. Free chat has just broken $1,300,
Oh, wow.
whereas sub chat is still at 53. So, this race is looking a little bit one-sided, and if you'd rather it not look one-sided,
How is that possible when we've given 70 locally?
I just work here. I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, true. Really not. We're in the couch. So
That's not our job.
we might not be able to have time to before the race is over.
Take that 70, well, I put my dollar towards free chat.
Sure, Asteroid. I trust you.
On that note, thank you to Cruent for your $500 donation. Here is to ruining my chat experience Bible thumb.
All right, I said I would explain this glitch next time I got to it. So in slow-mo, the animation of boxes going away still blocks the laser. So if you just go in slow-mo and preserve it, you can just block the lasers and get through it without having to worry. Luckily, you get 2 boxes and there's 4 lasers, and each box can get you through 2. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. Simple math.
Oh yeah. Basic math, guys. Good job.
Having sound here would be really helpful because it lets you know if you get that instantly. Luckily, I did.
These shots are pretty hard to do. Unless you're Blood Thunder. Kobe. Shots dunked. Yeah.
Like Blood Thunder Shadow Jam.
Barkley Thunder.
And so we got 3 more rooms in the yellow wing. This one's fairly simple. The next 2 require really precise timing, and that's one time you don't want to get a really good object hover. Finally getting to the next room after 2 minutes of walking. So I think currently, out of the 4 people that might run the game, the other 3 grab the slow-mo, but I skip it.
So now you're not a casual. Interesting. Yeah, that's a nice one.
So if you jump just at the right moment, you can get up on top of the dollies, which you're not supposed to be able to do, and cross the gap. And now for probably the hardest room in the game, and one of the coolest.
Yeah. Get hype. So you're supposed to slow down time and slow these objects down mid-air so you can jump on them. But screw that, let's just jump.
Unfortunately, that's only the first part of this room.
So in addition to the race that's going on there, I'd also like to remind you that we have some Borderlands 2 incentives that still need to be met and don't have a huge amount of time left, including the language selection, which is ending, I believe, in not too long, in about 20 minutes. So get your donations in for those also, because those are a little bit more time sensitive than the... I believe Japanese is winning, last time I checked.
Japanese!
Yeah.
Glorious Nippon.
Sneaks has donated $20 to free the chat.
Boo!
And Free the Chat Foundation has broken $1,500.
So while it's going on, I just got a graphical glitch I was talking about earlier. Basically, I died at the same time the game was trying to load. And so if I hit spacebar like it's telling me to do, it won't do anything, but it's always something fun to go for.
What's the world record for this game?
World record for this game is currently 49:05 by myself. And it probably won't be broken anytime soon. Even with doing the last room perfectly, like I did, I still probably would have lost some time. All right, so we've gone through two wings, the blue and yellow. Now we're going to the red, which gets a bit easier, and it has a lot of long levels that are kind of cool, and some interesting tricks, but the worst is behind us. And this is where we get the fourth dimension anti-gravity, which is the green.
Reversal of fortune.
Reverse.
Reverse.
Wait, I don't get it. Explain.
Oh, no, no.
Okay.
Okay. Fun fact, this room has an audio cue.
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Yeah, you got it, nice.
Yeah, there's a few
Use.
audio cues you can use, but if you've played the game long enough and done so many individual level attempts, you kind of know when to do it, so it's not too bad.
The safest way to travel. This game's so good.
All right, so that little jump I did there saves no time at all,
Yeah, exactly, right?
but it's always fun to go for. Why not?
They don't want anything to get past it.
Thank you to Anonymous for a $500 donation. In 1776, Thomas Jefferson declared that all men were created equal. At that moment, a new nation was founded upon the ideal of freedom. Now, over 200 years later, we find ourselves in a similar situation. Therefore, I donate these $500 in the name of freedom and to help a great cause that I would gladly support any day of the week. Freedom.
For historical inaccuracy. Boo.
For freedom, we fight. Free chat.
Free chat. Free chat.
All right, I'm going to go for a really stupid strat I shouldn't go for in this room. So shout outs to Zamanzo for this. Unfortunately, I don't think he's watching because he passed asleep, but. All right.
Nice.
This is another door we have to break completely differently than the rest. I can't break one on its own because they're connected, which is really unfortunate. And there we go.
Yeah, this game.
Have you soft locked this game often?
I've soft locked it once or twice. It's not really a common thing with Quantum Conundrum. Most of the time it has backups in case you do something stupid and get yourself in a situation where it would soft lock. So it's kind of hard to do that. So not only can you get yourself out of bounds, you can actually get items out of bounds too, or just through walls.
Good stuff.
So that skips the whole puzzle here. Why not?
Science use.
Science cues. I'd love some science cues right now.
A healthy choice with every breakfast.
The taste of learning. Yeah. This room is horrible. Fun fact. But Blood Thunder gets it every time.
Nice.
It's not really a glitch, it's just abusing the game mechanics that if you hit your head while using anti-gravity, you can force objects to go the way you want them to, so you can just kind of control their path entirely. And I really don't like this room.
Fun fact, this room is an impossible space because it occupies the same space as the previous room.
Alright.
But who cares? There's science use.
He's literally changing dimensions. I don't know. At this point.
Yeah.
Alright, we get to play basketball one more time.
Slam. Jam. Oh. Oh, yeah. Reset.
Alright, so it's actually faster to do a great object hover and get the speed from it than it is just to normally walk, so...
And that was, in fact, a great object hover.
yeah. Doesn't happen often, but it was pretty good that time.
Whoever belted. It's belt-based, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, exactly. They're geniuses.
There's actually a little quote he says here, which if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense because he's talking about using inches as a scientist, which
Yeah.
I don't really know any scientists that would use the imperial system.
He also uses science juice as a technical term, so I don't know.
His partners are also green.
Hmm?
His partners are green.
Oh yeah, Ike, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you to DJ DePalm for a $50 donation. Let's get that Japanese language for BL2.
Yeah. So I did this earlier, but it's just one of the first little tricks I found. Because when I started running the game, there was already people doing individual level segment attempts. So I just took their strats, and then I just went through the hallways and tried to find ways to speed it up. So that's one of the first tricks I always remember.
Yeah, since when you do individual levels, you don't see the transition corridors.
Alright, so I'm going to keep this safe with me, which you're not supposed to do. And it's a little bit risky, and I probably shouldn't do it, but...
Oh. Whoa.
That's safe.
Oh god. Oh, please. Stop.
That's it.
Oh.
That's not the safe.
Yeah.
Good job. More puns.
Never have enough time.
There we go.
Did someone request a roll?
So I broke the door to keep it open, and then I used
Oh,
the
okay.
safe to open up the inner door.
Yeah. Roll call. Who said that?
All right, so I'm going to try to make this jump here, and unfortunately I didn't. But luckily enough, you need to touch that wall anyways, because what that does is it loads the next room, and we're going to not solve the room that we're in currently. We're going to just look through this door.
So that roll call we were talking about,
What now?
Somebody say roll call?
Yeah, somebody said roll call.
Did they?
Start with the person who actually has a mic on.
Well, you shouldn't start with the actual runner.
I'm Blood Thunder.
I'm Ethelon.
Motion for 13?
Zach SK.
Decided sloth.
Cool.
This room is not difficult by any means, but it's very, very likely to go wrong. The safes don't like to go where they need to. And if it goes off path even slightly, you have to just restart the entire puzzle, which wastes a ton of time.
Even though these robots are moving in a completely straight line, when you start going into the reverse dimension, the safe just veers off.
Yeah. Safes really don't make any sense in this game.
So an update has been made to the donation war. At the end of this run, the chat will be free for 1 hour for every $1,000 that has been donated to it.
Oh, okay.
But donations for that will stop being accepted as soon as this run ends. So as of right now, it looks like chat was going to be free for about 2 hours.
All right. That works.
I'm okay with this. Couch surfing.
Well,
He actually makes that pun in the game.
yeah.
This is not in the right box. That should complete it 5 times. Speedrun analysis is like, it's like one kind of absurdist play.
So he just made the pun, but unfortunately we couldn't hear it.
Your best imitation.
Do your best imitation.
I'm imitating him right now.
Oh,
Flawless.
so good.
Okay, all right, let's set this in the house and let's just dig this thing out of there like it's a bad board or something. Okay, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna cry.
Unfortunately, there's no way of speeding this area up. You just have to do it the normal way.
You could be crazy and try to do a momentum jump at the very end there.
Yeah, I thought about doing it, but it's not really worth it.
No, it's not.
You're already behind a bit. So this is probably the coolest room in the game by design. They give you the batteries up front, but you only can choose one, and you're supposed to go collect the other 3. But we're just going to choose Fluffy and break the room instantly, because that's what we do.
That works too.
Alright, so we have 2 more rooms in the Red Wing, and then we get to go to the end of the game. But the next 2 aren't really a walk in the park. So we're just going to grab a safe and go to the exit.
Sign language. Just saying.
So we're actually going to use slow-mo in here because the time frame that you have to break the doors is very, very small compared to the others. And when I was testing it one day, I just realized why not throw slow-mo in there and extend that time. So it makes it really, really consistent. All right. So there's a bunch to this room that we're going to skip. First, I need to break the glass. Okay. And now we need the safe to fly off perfectly.
Looks pretty good.
I'm gonna get another one.
He can try this like 30 times and it'll still be faster.
Yeah, there's a lot that we skip by doing this. I could go with all of these, but they're pretty slow. So I want to try to get a good one for the stream.
Essentially the physics of the game.
Yeah.
So many different results.
Yeah, it's weird how like the physics just do different things every time.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with this one.
Pretty good one. Uh-oh.
That'll work. So you're supposed to get over there to the generator, but with the angle it's going, I'm just gonna get up on top of this pipe and jump to the end. Alright. So we have to come up here to get Fluffy, so that we can move the safe. There is another way of moving it with just using anti-gravity and hitting it off your head, but it's really slow and not worth doing.
So the IL for this level is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and the individual level time for this, you actually don't get on the safe at all. You don't break the window, you just hit the safe out and get it to land right on the generator. It's not a fun room to grind out. You're pretty much just going for luck. All right, so we got 2 more rooms to go through. We'll get to the end. And if you haven't thought about it, each generator leads me back to the same door, so it doesn't make any sense why I just couldn't go back that same way to the end of the level. Skip the entire wing.
Oh, nice. Yep, you're supposed to wait for a plank to go out there. That's a pretty hard jump.
The next room is also one of the coolest rooms in the game by design. It gives you all 4 dimensions up front, and then takes them away in the reverse order that you obtained them originally. Unfortunately, I didn't pull that lever. Unfortunately, that means we get Fluffy for the entire thing, and as you can probably guess, it's broken. So a lot of the puzzles rely on the fact that you can't get up high due to the fact that you don't have anti-gravity, but that's not really the case.
Oh, that was really good.
So probably the best picture in the game. It's
Yeah.
actually animated.
Nice painting. I want one of those.
All right, so we're just gonna hang out with Desmond up here for a little bit. So really the only part of RNG that we can't cut out of the game, all the items you see here are completely random, and I don't want to hit them because they'll just slow me down or knock me into a laser, which if I hit any of the lasers at all, I have to restart from the beginning of the fall. So if I hit the very, very last one, I lose a ton of time. And the anti-gravity section is by far the worst. Because now I have items flying up at me. Alright, we should be fine.
This is a run killer for sure.
I've actually had runs get up to this point and just fly away because I hit a laser.
It's right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 more glitches at the end of the game here. One, I'm going to spawn Ike, which is our little companion. Give me a battery sooner. He'll just spawn behind me as long as I'm not too close to where he's supposed to spawn. And once again, the game doesn't count how many batteries you actually have in the device. It's just how many you put in. So if I just keep putting in fluffy, it activates all 4.
Yeah.
And you may notice that there's now 3 Ikes over here.
Yep.
And we're going to do another little trick to get our powers back sooner. All right, time's coming up really soon. Time. All right, it's just 5 seconds. I would love to let the actual credit song play out because it's the greatest credit song in history.
However,
there's-
Then we flip a switch and fluffy is everything. That's all I know.
But if you do play this game, definitely listen to the final song or just go look it up on YouTube. You will instantly fall in love with it.
So, BT, should we do a thing?
I think we should do a thing. Do you want to do it?
I want to do a thing.
Okay.
Oh, I want to do it. Oh, I get to do a thing.
Yep. It's all you.
Oh my God, I get to do a thing. Hold on. Yeah, I got it. Sadly, we don't have sound for this thing, but
Yeah. All right. So we didn't really show off Ike at all, but he is the glorious leader of Quantum Conundrum, and everyone should obey him. For free chat.
yeah. Sub mode.
That's Quantum Conundrum. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Up next is Typing of the Dead, Surgeon Simulator, Borderlands 2, Dishonored, Antichamber, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I mean,
Follow Blood Thunder.
what more could you want? Stay awake. Free chat.
Boo.
That's, the donation center is closed.
All right, so the language donation incentive for Borderlands 2 closed, and French actually won by about $1,000, $11,000 to $10,000. So it's an impressive amount of money raised for that incentive.
Commercial's going right now.